okay. Yeah, I think the live streaming has just come on, so hopefully success. Dara, you'll have to give us the YouTube link to share with everyone. Yeah, I'm getting so many messages as well where people can't join. Anyway, whilst they're just fine, I think there's success. Brilliant. Chandrakant Bhai, you can share the link.
Hello. Yeah.
Smita, you muted.
Saying
Yeah, કારણ કે છે 100 માણસ થઈ ગયા છે ને એટલે ટ્રાય કરે છે થોડાક વધારે માણસોને લેવા માટે તમે થોડીક વાર વેઇટ કરો અમે તમને હમણાં થોડીક વારમાં કોન્ટેક્ટ કરશું.
Chandrakant Bhai, the YouTube link is ready. Hello? It's in the chat, so you can send that to them.
Is it in the chat?
Yes.
Hello.
Kirit or Dhara, can you place the YouTube link in the mobile apps group, please? Can you put it in the mobile apps group? The YouTube link is ready. It's in the chat, so you can send that to them.
Is it in the chat?
Yes. Kirit or Dhara, can you place the YouTube link in the mobile apps group, please? Can you put it in the mobile apps group? The YouTube link is ready. It's in the chat, so you can send that to them.
Is it in the chat?
Somebody has already put it in the mobile group. Somebody has already put the link in the mobile group.
Thank you everyone for your patience. We'll start the session.
Sorry, how can I join your mobile group?
We'll come on to that later.
Thank you.
Keval?
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Over to you now for the security and privacy session, please. Thank you.
Hi, can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Sorry, how can I join your mobile group?
We'll come on to that later.
Thank you.
Keval?
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Over to you now for the security and privacy session, please. Thank you.
Hi, can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Sorry, how can I join your mobile group?
We'll come on to that later. Keval?
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Over to you now for the security and privacy session, please. Thank you.
Hi, can everyone hear me okay?
Yes. We'll come on to that later. Keval?
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Over to you now for the security and privacy session, please. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Smita auntie, can you hear me?
Yes, we can now. Yeah, sorry there was disturbance, but it's all clear now. Yes.
You can hear me properly, yeah?
Yes, yes.
I'm trying to mute everyone. Someone's got their background noise. Hi, everyone. And for some reason, it seems to be repeating itself. Smita auntie,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can now. Yeah, sorry there was disturbance, but it's all clear now. Yes.
You can hear me properly, yeah?
Yes, yes.
I'm trying to mute everyone. Someone's got their background noise. Hello, everyone. Okay, so Smita auntie, I'll
Yes.
go through for everyone as well, I'll go through the session now. We'll do parts in English and I'll ask Smita Aunty to translate it in Gujarati for all of you that have joined the session today. If you can, please get a pen and paper if you need it. You might want to make some notes because some of the things we go over, they may sound a bit complicated, but once you make a note, it will help you understand and remember. And that way, if you have any questions later, you can message in the mobile WhatsApp group and I'll be able to clarify and clear up any questions you might have. I do apologize for the delays today, but we are live on YouTube now. So anyone who couldn't join, you can send them that YouTube link we've got there or the one in the WhatsApp group, and they'll be able to view all of this live on YouTube now as well. Unfortunately, Dara said there won't be live questions on there, but they are more than welcome to put their questions on our mobile apps group and we'll get back to them. So today, we're going to be covering a few things with regards to online security and privacy. Now, we're just going to cover the basic details of protecting yourself online. So whether you have WhatsApp or iOS, or whether you're using a laptop or another type of device, this is just general online security. We did have a question from one of our participants earlier in the week with regards to WhatsApp and the voice button on there. When you press your keypad button to type a message, you will see a microphone on your WhatsApp screen. If you press that button, you will need to allow access for WhatsApp to access your gallery, your photos, your images, etc. But once you give it access, you can use that microphone just to talk into your phone and it will type out the message for you. If you go to the settings icon next to the microphone, once you have pressed the microphone, there's a settings button there. You can press that and you can change the language as well. So if you wanted to use Gujarati, Hindi, Punjabi, any language, you can change the language. Then whatever you talk in, it will be typed out in that specific language, as long as WhatsApp does recognize that language. With Gujarati, it obviously does, so that will be covered on there. Now, just going back to our online security, we're going to be looking at two things today. First of all, how are people getting scammed at the moment and the type of fraudulent activities that are taking place, and also how you can protect yourself. So, for any of you that want to know, there's a word at the moment called phishing. That's Phishing. I'll put it in the chat for all of you. Oh, hello, Dr. Mehta. Yes, with regards to the WhatsApp, we will cover the speech thing properly. When Dara's on next week, she will go through on the actual device and you'll be able to see the buttons on the screen. This is just a quick explanation for anyone who wanted to know how to use it quickly. With regards to phishing, what I've typed in the group chat there, if you want to have a look at what that means, you can search it on Google. But phishing is a fraudulent practice. It's of sending any type of communication. So this could be through email, through text, even through phone when you get an automated robotic voice speaking to you. Any type of communication through mail. And nowadays, we talked to you about the QR codes on our last session. There's a lot of fraudulent activity happening with QR codes as well. So we'll go through all of that today, but phishing is the fraudulent practice of sending communication purporting to be from a reputable company in order to induce individuals to reveal personal info, passwords, card numbers, etc. And they do this to be able to scam your money. So we're going to go through a lot of the details for that and hopefully how you can protect yourselves a bit better. Okay, so one of the most easiest things that we can start with, obviously, is with online security and checking whether things are authentic. Now, any communication you receive, even if it is from a friend, it might be your brother, sister, someone you trust, they may not have checked that link properly. For example, the old NatWest website address was www.natwest.co.uk. So with regards to the website address, if we wanted to go and open up a website and we put www.natwest and a little apostrophe, then .co.uk, anyone looking at that link, if they don't clock onto the little apostrophe or see that it's a different address, they will press that link and the link takes you to something. They've built the website to look exactly like the original one. So what happens is they're trying to take your details by creating a fake website, and this is very, very easy to do. So it's very important that you check any link that you press, whether it's on an email, whether it's on a text, whether it's come through WhatsApp, Messenger, any form of communication, no matter what platform you are on. This is not specific to iOS or Android, or whether it's laptop or mobile devices, desktop, it's any online device. You must remember that if you are protecting your laptop using software security, then your mobile device, your tablet, they will also need that same protection. And we will go through that now in a second. Smita Aunty, did you want to explain a bit about the links? You're on mute, sorry.
I'm getting so many messages by people saying they want the link and they want to join. So I'm getting quite distracted, unfortunately. But the YouTube session is working very loud and clear. So there's almost more than 12 people who've joined on YouTube as well. So Keval, carry on, and then I'll come back to it.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So if someone has sent you any communication saying that you need to contact this, it's a competition, whatever it might be, one of the best things to do is go to Google, type in the name of the organization that you're searching for, whether it is NatWest, Barclays, whether it's British Airways. Lots of companies run different competitions, and this is a good way for the scammers to use this because they're trying to attract you to give them your personal details. And please, we will go through how scammers also find ways of just getting one detail from one platform, one detail from another platform, and then from another. And when they put it together, they can build a profile for any of you that will look exactly like it's you as a person, or at least have the details to potentially even open up bank accounts in your name and various other things. So it's very important we do protect our security online. Now,
please. Here's something I bet you didn't know. Not all supplements are created equal.
Now, using Google, you can search for... Sorry? Okay. Using Google, you can search for any organization and use the official link to go onto their platform, and then every organization has a contact us function, or if it's a competition you're searching for, or an offer or a deal, might be through Vodafone and it's a better offer for a mobile device, always look on their official website through your Google search rather than pressing any individual links. If you press an individual link, you cannot be sure whether that is taking you to the actual website, or whether it's even set up to divert you to a different website which looks exactly the same. Now, when you get a phone call, this one is very important as well for most of you. When you get a phone call and people are asking you to sign on online or press the link, they'll send you a link and you press it. Never ever press that link, no matter how authentic you think that phone call is. Even if they provide you with some of your details back to you, like your postcode or your name, or how long these details can be found through data collection from various other methods. Now, once they've got that data, they can try and use that to manipulate you to show that they are from a reputable company. This is not always the case. Some people who do call, they may be genuine, but some people who call, they are not genuine. And the way to decipher that is to check on Google yourself for the website, go onto the website, call their direct number, and if someone is genuine, they will have no problem with you calling them back through the official number that is listed on their website, not through any other numbers. So if someone is insisting that you stay on the phone with them and press something online, this should automatically give you a little bit of a trigger that something could be not so right or not so correct here. Anyone who is genuine will understand that you're protecting your security and that you can go to the website and log in, contact them through their official contact channels and contact that particular agent through that method. That way you have confirmed that agent definitely works for that company. Now, there's many other types of scams that are happening online as well. And it's all done through the communication, as we said. So a lot of what we talk about today is about the communication that's sent to you. And what people do is they get your contact details. If they have your email address, they can access potentially any of your social media platforms, any of your financial documents through your banks, all your security. So if you do have a pen and paper there, I have mentioned this previously in previous sessions, but what I would recommend is that all of you set up at least 2, 3, or maybe even 4 different emails. Could you please confirm that looking through Google search for an official website is reasonably safe? Yeah, with Google, the great thing about Google is, and the algorithm that they use, is that any official websites are going to come up on that top search. Any fake website created to replicate another website will not be able to go through the search hierarchy and be in the top position over an established organization like a NatWest or a Asda or a British Airways, Vodafone, whoever it might be. Anyone creating a fake website, because they wouldn't have had any searches or any type of online interactions before, more than likely their search will be very, very far. And obviously, because they've made a slight change to the website name, it's not going to come up as the exact name that we're searching for. So as long as we search for the official website and you go, you'd be able to see on Google the top listed one, not where it says ad. Some people, when they search, you get a couple of ads on Google at the top, and then your first listing comes up. Sometimes you don't have any ads. So just make sure it's not one of the ads and you click your actual first listing one, or the most appropriate option that it gives you for signing in, logging in, whatever it might be that you're choosing to do. Now, no, that's no problem. Any questions you've got, just put them in the chat and we'll answer them as we go along. If any of you need anything described in Gujarati, please let me know. And we've got Smita Aunty here who will be able to just translate some of what I've said. Mane thodu Gujarati avre, but I'm not sure if I can do the session and everything I need to say with all the right words. So I'm going to try my best, but if any of you need an explanation in Gujarati, please do say, and either myself or Smita Aunty will give that to you. Now, and I do apologize because we're starting a bit late. I'm going through things a bit quickly, but if you have a pen and paper there, I'm going to give you a way to try and protect your passwords as best as possible. Now,
it was a scientific hypothesis.
One of the biggest issues and questions we get is, I've got so many devices, I've got so many accounts. How do I remember all these different passwords? The other question we get is, if I use the same password on all of my platforms to keep it safe, is that actually safe? And the answer to that is no, that is not actually safe. Once someone has your password, it's going to be very easy to log into any of your accounts. And the worst one for them to find is potentially your email one. Obviously, we all have accounts, potentially with banks, etc., etc. But we have to remember the one common denominator for all of these accounts is our email address. They all use our email address as a verification process. Now, your email, again, is the most important identity to protect. Obviously, all others on a parallel level are just as important, but your email will potentially give someone access to everything in your life. If someone hacks into your bank account, they're going to have access to your finances. If someone hacks into, whatever it might be, it will be your Facebook or your Instagram, it will be access to your social media and your messages. But if someone hacks into your email, they will have access to your bank, your social medias, everything in your life that you use your email address for. So this is the reason we recommend at least 3 email addresses, at least 3. Now, you can potentially have one on Google and 2 on other platforms if you wanted, or keep them all on Google. That doesn't really matter. I just wanted to clarify that. But the reason for 3 email addresses: 1, for your secure information, your social media accounts, your personal information like your contacts, etc., etc. A second one for your finances. So this might be mortgage related, bank related, insurance related, etc., etc. And your third one for any type of junk or someone that you're not sure about. If you have to give an email address to someone, you don't know who they are, you will always be able to change that email address afterwards and put them onto your official one if you want. But if you have one that is given away to, sometimes we sign up for something on the high street, we want to donate to someone, or we sign up for a Tesco club card. Now, we don't know who the staff are. We don't know the people behind. Although the organization is legitimate, a lot of the workers nowadays, we've seen with credit cards, we've seen with debit cards, when the workers used to copy the cards and the numbers. Obviously, the banks protected us against that now, but the fraudsters move on and the scam changes a different way. Now it's about data and information. And once they have your personal details, it's very difficult for you to ever change that. They can potentially reuse these details in 6 years again and set something up in your name. The reason I wanted to cover security is to ensure that over this coming week, all of you pay attention to how you use all the platforms that we're teaching you about, as well as how you use your online devices, whether it's a mobile device or whether it's a desktop. It's very important that, sorry. Alright, Papa? Papa, আমরা কামিনে মিলো কাছে না ওদের মিটিং মাছু એટલે আমরা પતાવીને આપણે ખાવાનું ઓર્ગેનાઇઝ કરી લેશું. ઓકે, alright. Sorry about that, everyone. Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay, so right, 3 email addresses. Okay, so you can have more. I would recommend sometimes spreading your email addresses out and only keeping specific things. So you could have 4, 1 for your finances, 1 for your social media, 1 for your personal contacts, and 1 to give out to new contacts or anything until you've verified whether that person is legitimate or not. Now, passwords. This is for your email addresses and every single platform you use, whether it's online banking, whether it's your account with your mortgage, whether it's anything, your social media or anything. The best way to do your password, and I would, if any of you have a pen and paper there, I would definitely recommend you make a note of this. how do we remember a password that is going to be different on every platform? Okay, now there is a few techniques to this. For example, if I was to write my password, and this is hypothetical, please do not use the password I'm giving you right now, or try to make a variation of it. It's a very basic password, but hopefully it gives you the right example for what you need to do going forward. So we are going to start with a password called, if everyone can go into, let's try and utilize our Zoom a bit better. If everyone can load up the chat screen that we've got, I'm going to type a password into the chat box. This password says password 1, 2, 3, 4. Very simple, yes? People will be, if someone really wants, people have automated system now that can run through a potential of 30,000 passwords every 1 hour trying to log into your account. They don't have to type anything. You plug in a device and it will run through. This device, if I have the right information from you, it can use specific words to try and break up your password and hack your account, but I will go into that. All of you will have had someone on your online profiles where someone says, oh, please don't respond to my message, I've been hacked, or someone's taken over my account, someone's sending out messages from my WhatsApp, it's been hacked. This and what we go through now will explain how it happens and how you stop it happening to you. So, password 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if we wanted to change that for different accounts, if we wanted to change that for different accounts or make it a bit harder, we could maybe change some of the letters into numbers. So I will put, and you can use the chat box there. If anyone can point out in the chat box what I've done differently with that password there. Tame badai olu chat box ma meje lei coach password 1, 2, 3, 4 ne એની નીચે અત્યારે તમને chat box માં લખવું હોય કે મેં જુદું શું કર્યું તો ત્યાં તમે લખી શકો. Yes, Bean has got the 455. Did any of you spot the 0? On password, I used the letter O. On the one below where we use the 455, the 0 is also a number rather than the letter. So,
yeah, 0, yes.
Yeah. So going forward, there might be one of these numbers that no matter which password it is in, no matter which password it is in, that number is specific to you. So for example, if you've got an A in a lot of your passwords, an A will always be changed to a 4 because it looks like an A. Now, you might not want to do that. You might think, right, in all of my passwords where I use an A, I'm going to use the number 9 instead, or the number 7, something that is unique to you that no one else knows. And this is a great way then of adapting your password. Now, this is just a single password that we're talking about. So for example, we've changed our password slightly there using numbers for letters. But even then, that is not very secure. It's a lot more secure than the first password, but we're going on to the second password now. Now, what I would like you all to do is, if some of you can name a random organization, so someone you might have an account with, it doesn't need to be specifically to yourself, but whether it's a bank or who would you have an account with? So I can make it relatable for yourselves. If anyone wants to put in the chat box who we can create a password for, whether it's for NatWest, Asda, if you give me an example, Amazon, great. Neelam, right, we've got Poundland and Amazon. Okay, so using the passwords that we had, what we can now do is this. And if you keep a lookout for the chat box, I'm going to put a few passwords in there.
455. Amazon 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so, oh, sorry, someone put MNS and, yes, MNS. So now, for example, if we wanted to use the same password so that we can remember it, but we need to remember, right, Amazon, MNS, Poundland, we can change it so that you're using the organization that you're with to be a part of your existing password. So we've got password 1234, and we've spelt it differently with the P455 WRD.
Yeah.
Now what you can do is add the organization name either in between, at the start, or at the end of the numbers. I've put it in between password 1234. So I know now whether I have an account with Barclays, whether I have an account with Halifax, whoever, my password will be password 1234. But in between the 1234 and password, I'm going to put the organization's name or a variation. It might just be the first initial, just the H for Halifax. So that way, you will always know in your head that, right, if I'm logging on to Barclays, it'll be password Barclays or B and then 1234. When I go on to Asda, it'll be password Asda 1234. Is that making sense to everyone?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, Smith Auntie, I don't know if you're there. I don't know if anyone needs to try and have that explained in Gujarati.
Keval, I've just had comments from people on YouTube that they can't see this that is on the chat. So I've just been sending them what you've been doing. But can you be mindful and explain exactly what you put down in the chat, please, so they can follow it up as well, please?
Absolutely, sure.
Okay, so thank you for people who are on YouTube. I think that's almost 32 people on YouTube as well. So it's quite a number today. So coming back to આપણને કેવલે શું કીધું કે એક તો આપણે email આપણે જો એક ઈમેલ કરતા 2 કે 3 કે 4 રાખીએ તો એક આપણે આપણા ખાલી ફાઇનાન્સ માટે જ ઈમેલ ફોકસ કરીએ એક આપણે સોશિયલ મીડિયા આપણું ટ્વિટર હોય કે ફેસબુક હોય કે ઇન્સ્ટાગ્રામ હોય કે તો એની માટે વાપરી શકાય આ બધી સેફટી માટે આમાં કાંઈ ગભરાવાનું નથી જ્યાં સુધી ગાડું બધાનું સારું ચાલ્યું ત્યાં સુધી સારું જ ચાલે છે પણ એકવાર આપણે અનફોર્ચ્યુનેટ હોય મારા પણ 2-3 વાર હેક થઈ ગયા છે એટલે આ ખાલી અવેરનેસ રેઝિંગ માટે જ છે કોઈને આમાં ગભરાવાનું નથી પણ આપણે પ્રિકોશન લેવા અને અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડ કરવાનું જરૂરી છે એટલે આપણે આ કરીએ છીએ તો એને એટલે એવી રીતના તમે થોડાક જુદા ઈમેલ રાખો ને જુદા ફંક્શન ફેમિલીનું કદાચ જુદું તો તમને શું કે પાસવર્ડમાં પણ થોડો સપોર્ટ રહે એમ કે થોડું એટલું બધું હેક કરવાના ચાન્સીસ પરહેપ્સ તો તમારું ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ ઇન્ફોર્મેશન કદાચ એટલું ઇઝીલી ના જતું રહે પછી સેકન્ડલી આ પાસવર્ડમાં એને કીધું કે આપણે છે ને કે જેમ પાસવર્ડ સ્પેલ કરીએ PASSWRD અને 1234 તો એને આપણે કેવી રીતના થોડુંક કોમ્પ્લિકેટેડ નહીં પણ સે જુદું સ્વરૂપ આપીએ કે ભાઈ PASS છે તો P ના જગ્યાએ A ના જેવો નંબર 4 લાગે છે તો P4 કરીએ અને SS ના બદલે 5 નંબર્સ કરીએ તો પાસવર્ડ આપણે લેટર્સ અને નંબર્સનું કોમ્બિનેશન કરીએ એ એક પોઈન્ટ એને કીધો તો એ ક્વાઇટ ઇન્ટરેસ્ટિંગ ફીચર છે તમે જોજો કેવી રીતના પછી આ AS ચેન્જ કરીએ તો એમાં 4-5 થઈ ગયું અને એને ક્લેવરલી પાસવર્ડમાં વર્ડમાં WORD આવે એટલે O આવે પણ કેવલે 0 મૂક્યું હતું એટલે નંબર ચેન્જ કરી નાખ્યો અમને કોઈને ખબર ના પડી અમે કોઈ સ્પોટ ના કર્યું ને પિકઅપ ના કર્યું એટલે એવી રીતના થોડું આપણે હાર્ડ કરી નાખીએ પાસવર્ડ થોડું તો શું કે હેક કરવાના ચાન્સીસ પણ થોડા ઓછા રહે આઈ નો કે યાદ રાખવું
Smith Auntie, if you want to explain it while if you want, I've logged all of the chat down onto a document. So hopefully you should all be able to see my screen.
Yeah, we can.
Yep, and so you can go through the chat so everyone can see what we've done. We've got password 1234.
So the ones who are
Yes,
clever અને
Yeah.
જેને બધી ખબર હોય ને તમે પેશન્સ રાખજો આજે કારણ કે જેને ના ખબર હોય અને આપણે YouTube માં છે ને એટલે થોડુંક આજે સેજ બધા બાજુનું ધ્યાન રાખવું પડશે પણ આપણે પાસે બે ટેકનિકલ ગુરુઝ એટલા ફેન્ટાસ્ટિક છે કેવલ ને તારા કે આપણને બધું સોર્ટ આઉટ કરી આપ્યું YouTube પણ થઈ ગઈ એમાં પણ આટલા બધા જોડાઈ શક્યા અને હવે કેવલ આપણને આ ચેટ YouTube માં અને આપણા Zoom ma pan lavi sheka. So we are really grateful to both of you. So carry on, Keval. You were just explaining this replacement. Amazon, you finished.
For those of you on YouTube, you can see me sharing my screen here.
Yeah.
And at the top, we started with password 1234. We changed password 1234 to use some of the letters as numbers, which you can see that I highlighted here. It's just the second line. We've just changed some of the letters into numbers on the below one. Then as we go on, we wanted to create passwords for specific organizations. Now, the password 1234 is hypothetical. You should create your own password that is unique to you, that is hard to hack anyway, but then make it more unique and even harder to hack and make it more secure by making it unique to each login. And you can do that by, I'll just highlight here, we've used the same password to create passwords for Amazon and Poundland as well. So what I've done is we wanted to create a password for Amazon and for Poundland. I decided I'll put the words Amazon and Poundland for those accounts in the middle of password 1234. You might want to put it at the end. You might want to put it at the start, or Amazon, it's got 6 letters. You might want to put AMA at the start of the password and ZON at the end of the password and break Amazon up. You can do that with Barclays, Poundland, every single password. So by doing this, you're securing each account individually, but also making it easier for you to remember how you can access each one of your accounts easily. So this is one unique method we found that a lot of people find easy to remember, but also one of the most secure ways of securing all your accounts. And
but Keval,
yeah.
If we have bank accounts like you put Amazon and Poundland, you wouldn't advocate us putting the bank name in it for our password? Is there a view on that?
For example, if someone's trying to hack your Barclays account, they know you're with Barclays. So whether you're using that name or not would be irrelevant to the actual password. It's more about how you remember it. So I understand what you're saying there, but first of all, if they're trying to get our password, we're under the assumption that they don't know our password. Only we know that. If they know you're with Barclays, then they've already got that information anyway with regards to which organization you're with. So it's it's not related in that sense. If you set up your password, this is more for you to be able to remember. And like I said, you don't have to put the full name like Barclays or Amazon. You can use an initial or the first and the last letter. Importantly, what I'm asking all of you to do is think of a way that you're going to remember all your different passwords. I've given you a lot of different examples there. Hopefully over the next week, some of you can try and see if any of that's helped, or think about how you would, use that in your day-to-day life and see whether it's relevant or not. And if we find that it's not a useful feature, we can find other ways to try and keep your account secure. So that was with regards to passwords. Now, security software. We'll just quickly move on to how you protect your devices. If any of you are using a laptop or a desktop, most of you have probably installed some sort of security device like AVG, Avast, there was Norton, McAfee. There's quite a lot out there, most of them reputable and very good for your desktop. But it's very important you protect your mobile devices that also use the same network. Now, one of the tips that I would recommend is that all of your internet providers have a default firewall. Now, I've got a feeling you're going to start asking questions about firewall. Unfortunately, everyone's broadband provider and everyone's device is completely different. So if you do have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them in the group if you want to send them to Smita Auntie, and we get some questions regarding firewall. But on your Wi-Fi network, you have a default firewall. It's a great protection to have it activated. So what we will do in an upcoming session in the mobile WhatsApp group, I'll send information for how all of you can find your own your own default firewall on your broadband network. If you do have existing software, security software for your desktop or your laptop that you use at home, usually it's provided with up to 3, 5, or 10 different devices that you can protect. If you have got that, do use that feature to protect your mobile phone and your tablets or anything connected on your Wi-Fi network at home. Smita Auntie, do you want to explain any of that in Gujarati? Or?
Yeah, I'm trying. I've got getting constant messages on the
bless
phone, on WhatsApp. It's I never realized I can be so multi-skilled, to be honest. Right. So what Keval just said, કે આપણા બધાના કમ્પ્યુટરમાં default firewall હોય. તો firewall એટલે Keval, am I right? કે it protects us and it kind of helps us with the security by and large. Yeah. એટલે એમાં એટલે ડિફોલ્ટ એટલે એમાં ઓટોમેટિકલી આપણું જે પણ ડિવાઇસ હોય, ફોન હોય કે આપણો લેપટોપ હોય કે આઈપેડ હોય કે ટેબ્લેટ હોય, એમાં ફાયરવોલ તો સોર્ટ ઓફ હોય બાય ડિફોલ્ટ. પણ એમાં ઇમ્પ્રૂવ સિક્યુરિટી એની પણ કોઈ વાર જરૂરી હોય છે. તો એ કેવલે કીધું કે બધાના ડિવાઇસ, બધાના સોફ્ટવેર, બધાના પ્રોવાઇડર્સ ને બધું જુદું હોય, એટલે એ અત્યારના એવી રીતના ડિટેલમાં આપણે નહીં કહી શકાય. પણ કોઈને કાંઈ સ્પેસિફિક ઇસ્યુ હોય તો પછી તમે અમને કહેજો. અને આ સિક્યુરિટી દિવસે દિવસે important છે, એટલે we will try and see કે from time to time આપણે દર monthly થોડીક ongoing security રાખીએ session. એટલે શું કે તમને બધાને બધું clarity થઈ જાય ને આપણને આપણું શાંતિ વળે કે કદાચ આપણે જલ્દી હેક ના થાય. Hopefully તમને કોઈને કદાચ અનુભવ નહીં થયો હોય, પણ we hope કે આપણને થાય બી નહીં. બરાબર? So the security and privacy issues are important. So just there was one issue that Kanakben raised, ke if I think it might be a password, if we save password in the save, is that secure? I think she's asking, a save icon. I'm not sure exactly whether it's relation to password or what, but in the YouTube she's been asking.
Is it safe to save your password to your device?
On icon, yeah, she said on the icon, yeah.
Okay.
What about if there is an icon where it says save?
Yeah, usually if you're on your device at home and you've protected your device and done what we've said, got your default firewall as well as your security software, you don't always need the security software. It's just an extra layer of protection for you. But if you have got it, it's better to use it. And if you do save the password, that shouldn't be an issue. We will, as Smita Auntie said, hopefully, if there's questions around security, privacy, you can send them through to us. And what we might do is gather them all up and maybe once a month, just give you a quick half an hour to go through questions and answer simple things for you. And hopefully over the course of 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, we can get everyone to a level where everyone's comfortable with how they've secured their devices and they understand it all. The problem with security is that there is so much information related to devices, platforms, banks, social media. There's just so much. It's very difficult to cover in one session. And on a general level, that's why we're covering just your devices, any device at the moment. We will go more specific and give you more details in further sessions. Now,
there is a question, sorry to interrupt, in the chat. I think it's come up twice.
Is it safe to pay a pay worker with a bank transfer?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Generally, your bank protect you through your terms and conditions. So if you're to do anything through your bank, and then through your bank transfer, someone's been able to use the details to defraud you, then your bank will cover that. And also, I think, right, your bank will cover that and will protect you against that. It obviously depends on the worker that you're going to make the payment to, whether they're trustworthy or not, and what they're likely to do. But the details they receive are very, very minimal. It's the name on your account and potentially either digits from your sort code or account number, sometimes providing it all. But the most anyone can do with that is actually put money into your account. They can't take money out. So, if they do have those details, the best they can do is put money in for you rather than take any out. They would need other ways of getting details from you for them to be able to do anything with your bank account. Banks are very secure with that. So bank transfer, I would say, I would give it a 90 to 95% safety rating. I wouldn't say there's a lot of issues with bank transfers at all.
And last April, the banks came out with a new rule that the account you pay to should be exactly how it appears. So if it's got a middle name, then you have to put in the middle name. So there's been extra protection that the banks have realized, and it has been added as well, that the account has to be identical how you have it for you to send money as well. And other question, sorry, Kevil, go ahead.
No, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, there's another question about Manjula bin she was scammed as well, she said on her laptop. And I mean, she says she was frightened, but I don't want people to be frightened, Kevil. So I just want you to tell them that the protection and thinking about it and doing something about it and being aware of it are important aspects rather than being frightened.
No, of course. I mean, unfortunately, our world is heading onto online. You will have seen Facebook, it's turned into Meta. I don't know if all of you know what that means, but it means you can live your life online now. We will talk about that more in the future. I'm going to speak to Dara about how we do the sessions with you on that. But for now, this is all just for information purposes. It's to keep you safe. Generally speaking, there's nothing to worry about, because most of the people and organizations that you are in contact with are genuinely reputable organizations. But we are seeing more and more cases of certain text messages, etc. And that's the reason for us trying to give you some advance notice of how to protect yourselves before anything happens, or before you become too comfortable and think, oh, nothing's going to happen to me online. So it's easier for you to just make sure you are protected. Now, one of the worst ways that people are getting details, the details are being taken from online is things like Facebook, where you see the name generators. If you've seen those things, what will your 2022 look like? What is your horoscope for this month? What does your name say about you? Give yourself a gangster name. And what people do is they click on this, they provide some details, and the name generator provides you something that you can post up on Facebook. All of us will have seen this. Each time you're going on to that, it's taking different details from you, either your favorite color, a dog's name, a mother's maiden name, your email address, whatever it might be. But then these sites are gathering your data over time and building a picture for you. So things like name generators and things like that, they are a waste of time. Forwarding images, some of them can hold viruses as well. So please be aware of what you're clicking online. Things like the name generators and things just for accessing data from you, they're really not worth the time and effort. And although some of them are genuine, a lot of them are being set up now for them to be able to take details and collecting your data. So be careful what you share online as well. When you share something, if you're on a holiday, if you've gone out for a meal, if you're, if you're out for a meal, it can show where you are. And if you are out somewhere, you do drive a nice car, you do wear nice jewelry or something, People know where to find you. You need to be careful of these things and who you've added. Some people, because they want their friend list to go up, just because it looks like they've got more friends, they start adding random people, random profiles. Sometimes these people are not who they say they are. Be sure who you are adding online and who you're sharing this information with. If you have gone on a holiday, it's great and it's lovely to be able to share, but is it wise to share it while you're still on holiday, or would you prefer to do it when you get back and share the information that you really want to share and only share it with people you want to share it with? If people know you're out, if people know you're away, what car you're driving, you're just giving people information that they don't really need. So it's always important that you look after the details that you are sharing online. Now, any phone calls that you might receive with a robotic message, an automated message, a lot of these at the moment are taking details as well. It's called phishing, the word that we gave you before. Phishing is collecting data. Even if you say yes, from you saying yes, they've got your voice. Using your yes, they can insert that into their own phone calls and robotic phone calls and say, you gave us information to do this, 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 or this. Please be careful about what you say on the phone to robotic messages. If it says, this is a message from Halifax Bank, this is a message from British Airways, this is a message from Churchill Insurance, whoever it may be, put the phone down, search on Google for that organization and call them back directly. Say, did you try to contact me? If you've called the actual organization, they will have a record of whether you had a call or whether you didn't. And this way you can discuss whatever you need to, but with someone that you know is actually a real person and also part of the organization that you are wanting to speak to. Now, if you are doing any online shopping, please use a credit card instead of a debit card where possible. Your credit card protects you a lot more than your debit card does. You can always clear off your balance at the end of the month with your debit card, or do it in a way where there's zero extra charges to you, but do ensure that you use the extra protection of a credit card rather than a debit card.
Sorry, Fatima just reiterated that point.
Yeah.
So she said that it's better to use credit card. We're not advocating તમે કેવી રીતના પે કરો, તમને ખાલી આ સમજાવીએ છે કે શેમાં તમને ફાયદા છે. Okay,
Yeah.
so તમને જે સૂટ થાય બધાની સિસ્ટમ તમારા ઉપર છે, but we're just highlighting what is helpful to you.
Absolutely. I mean, all we're doing is providing advice and a reason behind the advice that we want to be able to give you the reasons why we're giving you this advice. Ultimately, it is your choice and your preference. What you prefer to do is obviously the optional choice, but this information, it does help. Now, the three biggest text message, WhatsApp, and online scams at the moment, HMRC, Royal Mail, and coronavirus. These are the three top scams of 2022, and it's been reported by the government, which and various online security. If you're getting any messages from HMRC, Royal Mail, or anything to do with coronavirus, ignore it. Well, I wouldn't say ignore it, obviously, but contact the organization using Google and from a direct method. If it turns out to be a fake contact, you can let Action Fraud. Action Fraud is a great place for you to be able to go to and give them either the text message, the email, the social media contact, whatever it might be, and let them know, because they keep a record of people doing this, and hopefully they can find the links to stop these people. And hopefully, you know, through the information we provide to Action Fraud, we can stop these people out there doing this, this type of behavior. Now, just two bits of advice. To protect yourself is generally down to two simple bits of advice. It's either something you've pressed, which is a link, or it's the information that you've given to someone. It's very, very difficult for anyone to do anything to any of your accounts unless you've given them information or you've pressed one of their links. So that's all I would say. To summarize what we've gone through today, just be careful about any links that you press and be careful about the information you reveal to people you don't know. So they're the two biggest tips that we would say to go away with. Obviously, any other questions that you have, we can go through them, but obviously we went through the QR code session last month now. You'll see on parking meters as you go along now, some people have started to stick QR codes on. This has been called a scam because none of the local government, none of the local authorities are using QR codes for you to make your payments. If you go to a parking meter and there's a QR code there, please do not just scan random QR codes. As we said last month when we explained the QR codes, only scan the ones from reputable organizations. If you're inside ASDA and the QR codes from their till or on their receipt or on their notice board, that's absolutely fine. If you're at the opticians and you see a QR code that they've given you, that's absolutely fine. But if you're out on the street where anyone could have stuck a sticker on, it may look official, but do not trust something that is out in the open that anyone could have stuck on. Ensure that you know who that QR code has come from before you do go onto it. So just go through some of these questions. Sorry, but please repeat last one, what you said. When you call out or enter the card details, can it be misused by the company? When you call out and you enter your card details, what a lot of companies have done now is that they put on a silent keypad. Yeah. So rather than you say the number out, you can type it into your phone, and on the agent side, they just see stars. So they don't get to see the number because, and the reason these companies have done this is because they've had staff, or in situations with similar companies, they've had staff who've misused details of customers. Unfortunately, this is not about organizations. It's not about what you're doing wrong. It's just that in this world, there's a few unscrupulous people who will try to expose any way of gaining, even if it's an immoral way or an unethical way. We are living in a world now where we're sharing a lot of stuff online rather than face-to-face or in person. So because of that, we do have to change our attitude and how we share our information as well. But if you want to enter your card details, first of all, be sure it is the organization that you're talking to. Ask them if you can keypad the card number in rather than give it over the phone. And usually you should be safe. But if anything does happen, that company and their insurance will be responsible for that. But unfortunately, by then, sometimes it is too late. How do you join the WhatsApp group? If you send your phone number to Smita Auntie, if you go on to where you typed your message, above that it says to, you can click the Smita Auntie, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. I have put my message on the chat. So if people can, after the session, send me their phone number, their name, the city they're in, and the device, whether it's an Apple product or Android, and we'll put them on the group to get regular details. Because when they do it now in the chat, it distracts me, and then I find it difficult to then participate in translating as well. So if they can, I'll put my number once again. So if they can do that, it'll be really helpful to connect with me on WhatsApp after the session. Thank you.
Kirit Bhai, I have got one question. Is it okay to type the, when your company, the robot asks you, when you ring a company and the robot asks you to put your date of birth and all the details, is it better to type them or to give them verbally?
Again, it depends which company this is. If you are confident that the person you are speaking to is from the organization, and this is a regular method they use, then it shouldn't be a problem. Most of these organizations are aware of the details they're collecting from you, so they put security measures in so that staff can't do anything with any details. So usually, yes, ideally, if possible, you can ask them, is there another method for me to provide these details to you, either through an online form, or can I email you the details? And then they may try and give you an email address. You can check that email address online, and you can then send it to them if you're confident. Like I said, find their organization, find their contact. It will have their email address, phone number, and you can send your details through that way. So that way you can ensure that it's been sent to that company and you've got a record of it as well.
No, this is about when they ask, or, you know, when the robot asks you the question, you know, if you are paying, like,
yeah,
if you are paying.
No, I would never, in fact, I can't say never, but 99.9% of the time, never give your details to a robot. If it's automated, you've got no idea where this phone call or who they are, where they're coming from. Unfortunately, we're going into deeper territory here, but if you go to Google and how to buy a phone line, you can buy a phone line that looks official and then put any type of robotic voice on yourself, and then you get a system that will just keep calling random numbers, and every now and then someone will give their details. So please do not give your information to a robotic machine. The machine will always tell you where they're calling from. Put the phone down without saying anything, call that company back and speak to a live individual. If you can't get through to someone on the phone, send them an email. It's as simple as that. Never give your information to a robotic or automated service where possible.
Thank you.
When you call out, enter card, when you phone. All right, for the person who wanted to join the WhatsApp group, the Smita Auntie's just put a message on with her number. Please make a note of that number, and you can either send details or text, and she will be able to add you on to that. Right, we've gone through the robot, we've gone through the bank card. Sorry, Bhakti Shah, you said repeat what I last said. Which part were we talking about? What would you like me to repeat? And thank you everyone for all the thank yous we're getting on the chat. I hope all of you on YouTube have had a good session today as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of thank yous and good feedback on there as well, Kevin.
Yeah, I think what it is, everyone, when we talk about security, automatically, when someone says something, we relate it back to ourselves and we think, oh, I haven't done this, I haven't done that, or what we... It's nothing to worry about. What we're talking about today is about learning. It's about giving you the information to look into certain things like firewall, like protection, what you press on your links. Just give you an idea so that when you're using your devices over this week, over the next month, 2 months, 3 months, you're a bit more aware of what you press, who you speak to, the details you provide. Ultimately, we want to see all of you back here every week in a safe and sound and happy state of mind. What we don't want is for any of you to be unnecessarily, like Manjula Auntie said there, you know, she had a few issues previously, and we don't want that to happen to anyone. If we can provide that information to stop that happening, we wish we gave this session earlier, and hopefully Manjula Auntie, you know, we could have maybe tried to prevent that earlier. So unfortunately for one person, it's maybe information at the moment a bit too late, but hopefully with that we can learn a bit more to stop it happening again. And for some of you, it might be information that protects you in the future. And we will keep going through security, hopefully, because I think we've got a lot to go through. I think Smita Auntie's seen the type of responses we're getting today as well. So I think what we might do is have a little meeting and talk, and obviously through your feedback, which is the most important thing. For us as a group, we want to provide the relevant information to all of you. So your feedback, whether you send it to Smita Aunty or on the group, you know, it's very, very important that we know we're providing you with the right information. So
excuse me, I like
what it
to
means
have a
by
telephone for
default
Smita.
firewall.
I'd like to have a telephone for Smita Shah, please. I couldn't get it.
Oh, it's on the chat box. If you,
I couldn't get on a chat box.
oh right, okay. If Smita
Zero
Aunty, yeah, Smita Aunty will.
Smita Ben,
Have you got a pen handy?
Yes, please.
Okay, it's 077
Yes.
82
82
484
484
115.
115. Thank you, Sutagan.
If you just connect to me on your WhatsApp and then just send me your name, your city, and just whether you have Android or iPhone, and then we will register you on the group.
So I have to add you in my WhatsApp, yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's easy. Thank you.
Smita Ben, can you please put your phone number down on the YouTube, because people are requesting they can't see your phone number on the.
Keval, I am not sure whether we can put phone numbers on YouTube. Keval, that's why I didn't. Can you tell us
Okay,
whether
so for everyone on YouTube or online at the moment in the live session, I'm going to read the number out. I'm just giving you a few seconds, whether you want to get your phone, a pen and paper, somewhere you can make a note on, and I will give you the number as soon as I answer a couple of questions. I'm just going to give those of you who haven't got pen and paper a bit of time to get what you need to make a note. You can join from overseas, Shobna Aunty. We were on 100 at the time. I think few may have dropped out, so you've managed to get in a bit later in on the session, but you can join in from anywhere in the world. This is an online session, so you'll be able to access anywhere. I think Hansa Aunty had a question. There's a lot going on in the chat today. It's great to see that we're using the chat properly. So Smita Aunty's number, for all of you that needed to make a note of it, is 077 82 48 4 115. So I'll give you that number again, just to make sure you've all got it down correctly. 077 82 484 115. That number's there. If any of you do require it, you know, feel free to let us know again on YouTube or in the chat, and we can give you that again. There was a question from,
I think Hansaben's asking about default firewall, what it means.
Yes, that's the one. Yes, Hansa Aunty. The default firewall, what that means is when our internet provider sets us up, when our internet is set up, the internet provider provides a firewall. It's like a wall of protection to stop any type of viruses, malwares coming through into your system. And because they're the internet provider, they are up to date with all the latest viruses out there and everything. So they have the most up-to-date and relevant protection possible. Using their default firewall will protect you from probably 95+% of the viruses that are out there at the moment. So it's very useful to activate your default firewall on your Wi-Fi. You can do this through one of your devices, or again, it's very, like I mentioned about firewalls, all of you will have different internet providers. They all have different ways of doing this. The best way might be just email your internet provider and just ask them, how can I check if my default firewall is turned on? And do you have any extra protection that I can use on my home network? They will give you all the information and how to install it, or potentially help install it for you. Internet providers are great with that. Do we use the same link to log on next week? Yes, you can use the same log on. If you are a part of the group, It just says Pandya, so I'm not sure if it's Mr. or Mrs. But please do, if you are on our group, the link will be sent out, but it is usually the same one, so you can keep this one or click the new one. Do you need antivirus software on iPhone and iPad? I would recommend, yes, it's not essential. Apple, iOS, they are, again, one of the largest mobile device providers. They do stay up to date. When you get your device on Android, or when you get, this is actually important with iPhone, iOS, and Android, doesn't matter which device you use, you will notice your phone is saying update. Now, my phone, when I press the update button and it says update device, I hate it. It takes about 20 minutes, half an hour sometimes, and it takes ages. But it's very important you do that. As soon as they become aware of any type of viruses, any type of phishing scams, any fraudulent activity, they provide a security protection. So they send updates to our phone to protect us. When you get updates for your devices, please update your device as soon as possible. And that way you'll always be as best protected as possible. But if you can use extra security like AVG, Norton, McAfee, Avast, there's plenty out there. Your mobile phone provider, if you're on a contract, they provide security as well. Ideally, I would use your mobile phone provider's one, but again, do check prices. It is about preference, and also whether you want to install it or not. So we'll leave that up to you. But if you do have questions regarding how you make your choice, we'd be more than happy to go through that with you. We've got Shobnanti from USA. Wow, okay, great. So it must be quite early over there at the moment, midday, lunchtime. But yes, you can join us from anywhere in the world. You can be on the Antarctic and join us if you can get an internet connection.
We were hoping to, sorry, Keval, any other questions?
We've got quite a lot of thank yous. We would love to increase the capacity. And Smita Auntie, I think you've asked me if Dara's here. Dara, if you're available, can you contact Smita Auntie, please?
Sorry, I've got one confusion. Is your name Kirit or Keval?
No,
Keval.
my name's Keval.
But it says on the Kirit on the
because
as a host.
Because Kirit Bhai runs South Asian Health Action, so he's letting us use his account at the moment. I run Ekyam UK, which is a charity. Yes, Papa.
Okay.
Okay.
Keval, तू बात करी तो पापा हूँ समझावी दो. For all the newcomers, let me just tell you, okay, going back last April, Kirit Mistry runs SAHA Group, which stands for South Asian Health Association, and they do a lot of work in terms of diabetes and all that. And we have been lucky enough, and Kirit has been very kind for us to be able to use the Zoom. For most of the newcomers, this project doesn't have a penny of funding. It was just out of the goodwill we wanted to start, but all of you have been really good. Chandrakant Bhai from the start, Narendra Bhai now for this year, Munira, everyone sponsored a minimum amount for every week session. Keval doesn't get a penny. I don't get a penny. Our young Dhara, who is our main trainer, she runs her business in India and she supports us every week. So we obviously, because it's our bread and butter, so that is what we ask people to sponsor for. So Manjulaben and others have requested, can we increase the Zoom? I'm sorry, because we don't have any fundings to increase it as yet, unless people want to sponsor things. So that's how the system runs. Kirit was kind enough to support me through SAHA when I first started. We also have had support from our Bhagini, Jain Bhagini group. group. So that is the history behind it. We would love to, our other idea was કે અમે breakout rooms માં બધાને smaller groups માં teach support કરીએ. So તમારા own device ને એવી રીતના. But it hasn't worked that way. But let me just, sorry, going to microphone બંધ કર. So let me just say one more thing finally, and I don't want to talk much because important કે તમારા questions. પણ આજે even કેવલ ને તમે જોયું કે પપ્પાનું ધ્યાન રાખવાનું છે અને બીજા બધા issues હતા તો પણ એની commitment એટલી બધી છે કે he didn't let us down. The same with Dhara. Week in, week out, Dhara comes back and she supports us as well. So we are very blessed. And મારી માટે પણ administration સખત થઈ જાય છે કારણ કે આજે જ almost 20 people નવા join થયા. But that's okay. I want to do this and I'm genuinely want to support us all. So that's fine. And કોઈને કાંઈ પણ help કે support કરવી હોય in whichever way, then just contact me. It will be great to make this our big family for all of us to learn together. So કોઈને like I said, don't be shy. You can ask questions. પણ મારું એક request છે, તમારા બધાનું પણ request છે કે mobile apps group આપણું બહુ ભરાઈ ના જાય because people don't have a lot of capacity in their phones. So they don't want us to share other information. And whilst Keval has very kindly said that you can post your questions, I think if we keep questions on the chat minimum, but what we will do is next week you have a go at what he's told us, and then we can always have 15 minutes question and answers live in our sessions. Usually we say that we're just going to limit our session for maximum 1 hour, but hamesha 1.5 hours to minimum thai jai che. It goes on top of that up to 2 hours. But before we do anything, etlo to thai jai che. But I really value your commitment. Chandrakantbhai, thank you so much for all your Brighton and Crawley people, Shomna Ben from America, all over Leicester, London, Manchester, and from places far afield. Amari kind pan bhulchuk thayo આજે શરૂઆતમાં we had this issue. We weren't aware કે આટલા બધા join થશે. So our apologies for that. But thank you to Keval and Dhara for rising to this challenge. And like I said, we had more than 30 people on YouTube as well. And a recording nu તમે મને પૂછતા નહીં, અમે કોશિશ બધી જ કરીએ છીએ. And over the next few weeks, આખા last April ના recordings અમે try કરશું કે બધાને મળી જાય. And in the meantime, હું તમને બધાને 3 જે અમારી પાસે છે એ તો નવા members ને બધાને મોકલાવું જ છું. So thank you all once again. Any last thought? હા બોલો.
મને તમે મોબાઈલ ગ્રુપમાં વોટ્સએપ ગ્રુપમાં નાખી દેજો ને પ્લીઝ એડ કરો તો.
તમારું નામ ને તમને મેં કીધું ને મારો નંબર લઈ લ્યો કારણ કે મારાથી એકી સાથે
મેં તમને મેસેજ પણ મોકલ્યો વોટ્સએપ ગ્રુપમાં.
હા તો હું તમને એડ કરી દઈશ. Absolutely fine. Rest assured you will be taken in here. સુરેખાબેન શું કહેવાના છો આજે? સુરેખાબેન બોલી દો કાંઈ before we part.
Okay, કાંઈ નહીં, બહુ મજા આવી. Very, very important. The security starts with the phone. Very important session આજે આવ્યો. સાંભળતી હતી આજે.
Good.
પણ બહુ જ very, important information તમે આપી.
Good. Thanks to
Very
Keval.
nice, very nice. Keval, you are great.
Right. Chandrakantbhai?
Smita Ben, Ashwin Soni has just left, but એટલા બધા માણસોને join થવું હતું. We had to request about over 1,000 people. We said, no, we can't join. So I think we will have to look into it, about the capacity.
Yeah. If anybody wants to sponsor the Zoom and increase our capacity, then Dhara and Keval are more than capable of sharing the knowledge with all. More the merrier, really.
Today we miss Dhara Ben.
Yes, sure. Yeah. Dhara had a commitment. So, but the ones who don't know Dhara, you will soon find out. So between Dhara and Keval, we are blessed. And Keval managed the chat at the same time, teaching us as well. So it was a great effort, Keval. Thank you so much. I'm conscious your dad is waiting, Keval.
No, he's going with my sister to get some food. We just had a few questions there. I don't know if Dara's managed to contact you now.
No, she hasn't come back, but we need to end soon. So thank you all. Dhara nathi avi, I don't think. So if there's anything left, go ahead, Keval.
Just for Dr. Shashi Mehta, can you explain Ekiam UK? Ekiam UK is just a charity that I started. Make charity banavi apna je youth ne youngster hoy at the 24 varasna amene madad kariye with things like drugs, gangs, mental health, fitness, opportunities to get into sports. So we're a youth charity that work with all 8 to 24-year-olds. We're going to be launching a huge 10-year project this year in the UK. So if anyone wants to know any more about Ekiam UK, because it's a mobile apps workshop, if anyone wants to know anything about Ekiam UK, you can follow us on Facebook and or my name's Keval Sachdev. I'll put that in the chat. You can find me on Facebook and add me independently. I don't want to take up time, you know, with regards to that. The charity is to help 8 to 24-year-olds.
Yeah, you can put that on future. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more, because everybody has got children, grandchildren, so they can be aware of the project. So that will be good as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, we've got quite. There was a. Can we share? There's a lot of thank yous. Yeah, we muted everyone there. Right, I think we've got to the last question there. That was about Ekiam UK generally. So yeah, it's a youth charity, but in the future we will give you some more details.
Before we part, koine kai par a last minute question ke kai emergency question che before we say goodbye and end our session for today?
Do you have it on YouTube? Because I missed everything. I logged in like.
Yeah, are you a member, Hardika Ben? You take my number, and then Ajno to recording chat, we'll be able to share it. Yeah.
Okay.
Keval, can I ask you a question? How do you set up a bank account?
An online bank account, or?
Yes, I've never had one. I'm
You've never had
74.
No, you've never had a bank account.
No, not online. That's what I mean.
Oh, I mean, do you have a bank account?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Sorry, is that Indu Auntie?
Yes, that's right.
There we are. Okay. Hello, Auntie. So what you do is your bank will be able, on your phone, you can get an app. So for example, please don't tell us online, but if, for example, you're with NatWest or Barclays or Halifax, are you with Android or Apple?
I'm Android.
Android. So you go to your Play Store where you download your apps.
Yeah.
You search for the bank that you are with. Please don't say online. You download their online app and then you register your account and you will be able to have your device. Or alternatively, if you go on to Google and how do I set my account up online, they will have all the information on their frequently asked questions with step-by-step instructions of how you set that up. Again, each bank is different. Each one of their apps is different. So there may be a few changes, but through Google Play Store, search for your bank. Their app will come up at the top. Make sure it's for setting up your account, and you'll be able to set up your account online. It's a great feature to have. And if you need any further help, we'll be more than happy to help you.
Thank you, Keval. Bye.
No problem.
I think, Keval, we will cover the blocking of the messages we get on our text message and SMS and other things another day, because I'm sure a lot of people must be getting false messages on text messages and things as well. So maybe we could cover that another day.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of messages. I'm just trying to.
I've been just thanking everybody as well.
For Ashwin Uncle, yes, it seems like if you're joining today, there's probably a lot of sessions you missed. As Smita Auntie explained, we'll be uploading previous sessions. We'll be maybe going over some of them to go over some of the topics a bit more and refresh everyone. We will be going through all of that. But please do join us every week, so at least you can continue from where we are now. And any other sessions that we've had that you've missed out on, we'll either cover it again or post the previous sessions up online so you can access that. Right, we've got a Shobna Auntie from USA, Smita Auntie. They've left their phone number there. If you can add them to the group. Ashmi here. Sorry, I didn't. Ashmi, it just says here. I don't know if there was a question with that. And
she was just thanking us. Yeah.
Yeah. I think,
Okay. Yeah, I think, Keval, we will have to call it a day now because we've covered most of the points.
well, I hope you all had a good session, and I hope the stream online for all the YouTube viewers was good. Between either ECIAM UK or South Asian Health Action, we will look at increasing that limit on the Zoom. We're going to be working a bit closer with Smita Aunty to either get our own Zoom for this specific platform or one where we can increase the limit. So hopefully, Chandrakant uncle, within the next week or two, all those people that you've got waiting on standby will have them online very soon. Thank you.
Keval, we might get more people next week as well, because a lot of people have said they want
in that
to join,
case, in that case, we'll make sure we're prepared.
Let's be prepared,
beforehand. No, absolutely.
YouTube.
Absolutely. We'll have the YouTube link as well. We'll set that up beforehand. So, it was just like we said today, the numbers just went up straight away before even 4 o'clock. So it was a bit of a last minute setup, but we have managed to get that there. So
thank you very much. It was fantastic.
Problem. No, thank you.
Smita Ben, bye.
Okay, yeah, Chandrakant bhai, apologies to all the newcomers તમારી સાથે કે આજે આપણને આટલું ટાઈટ થઈ ગયું. પણ once again પ્રેક્ટિસ કર્યા વિના તો કાંઈ જ નહીં થાય. So તમે લોકો બધાય 5 મિનિટ કાઢી અને આજે જે કીધું છે એનું પ્રેક્ટિસ કરજો because only practice will make us remember it. So thank you all once again and see you next week. Usually same time જ હોય છે અને next week ધારા પણ અહીંયા આપણી સાથે હશે. જે બધા જોડાના છે બધાને ખબર છે કે ધારા એટલું બધું આપણને શીખવાડ્યું છે કે તમને WhatsApp વાપરવામાં પણ એટલું સારું પડશે કે વાત ના પૂછો. So જેને નવા છે ને we will cover that separately one of these days. But in the meantime, have a lovely Sunday. Take care, look after yourselves. Thank you. Thank you, Keval. Really appreciate it. And Kiritne પણ જલ્દી સારું થઈ જાય. So, and we miss Dhara. So, goodbye. Keval, you
Bye.
can.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Jinendra. Thank you. Jai Jinendra.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Everybody.
Hansani.
Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want me to end the session, Aunty, or?
Yes, I think that will be fine now. Yeah. And the YouTube as well, Keval.
Yeah, I'll end that now.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone. See you next week.